Hello and welcome to my online class. Today we'll go to a second tool to check validity of deductive arguments. Then we go to a little propositional logic. Now before we get to the lesson, let's recap. Okay? It means we just review. Now we come back to the first tool to check validity, that is categorical logic, or we say the Venn diagrams. Have a look at this. We have an argument with three premises, or three statements in fact. For example, some lawyers are not golfers, all lawyers are persons who have attended law school, and then the conclusion, so some persons who have attended law school are not golfers. We have three statements, and two statements are premises, the other statement is a conclusion, and the thing is all the statements begin with all, no, or some. They must be standard, categorical statements. And then we focus on the conclusion. We put the subject of the conclusion on the bottom left, and the predicates of the conclusion on the bottom right. Now, logically, you can put any event, you can assign any event as a group. But to make it easy to see, we put the conclusion. We just focus on the conclusion and the subject of a conclusion on the bottom left, and the predicates on the bottom right. The other term on top, lawyers. And then we just see the relationships. We illustrate relationships for the first two statements, or for the premises. And for the conclusion, we just look and check. Some persons who have attended law school are not golfers. Are not golfers. It means outside the range of golfers. We look at area number 1, and we can see the X, then that's valid. This is what we have learned. However, in reality, there are arguments that it can be impossible to just put them into categories. Like, if Vietnam declares the national lockdown, then the COVID-19 virus spread will be slowed down, but economy will be damaged. Therefore, we should not lock down the whole nation. Then see, it's very hard, it seems impossible to put them into three categories. In this case, we have to use a little propositional logic. Or other words, we say the truth tables. Now, then what does it mean, a propositional logic? This is a way to symbolize the parts of the argument so that we can analyze the whole arguments for validity. Then you can think about what we say, the symbolic forms, right? We are going to symbolize the parts of the argument. Now, we'll study in this lesson. Then we are going to focus on 5 issues: conjunctions, negations, deeper analysis of negation and conjunction. It means more complicated cases. And the last 2, we have disjunctions and conditional statements. Now to begin with, let's begin with what we say, statements. We learned a lot about statements already, right? And also the differences between statements and sentences. Remember? If you cannot remember, move back to chapter 2. I said, remember? Statements. Now let's have a look at this. Give yourself a minute to think. Statement, simple statements, and a compound statement. Then what could be the differences? Anybody can tell the differences? A statement. So that's a sentence that can sensibly be regarded as either true or false. That statement, it must have the value whether it is true or false. When there is no intention for values, true or false, then it is not a statement. Example, when I just say, what's the time? Just ask for the time. There's nothing there to say true or false. I might say, yeah, June, can you just open the door for me? The teacher says, yeah, open your book to page number 19. Right? And you can see in that case, yeah, there is no intention for the values true or false. Then they're just merely sentences. So remember, a statement must be a sentence that can be regarded as either true or false values. Now, a simple statement is just one sentence that can be regarded as true or false. Simple, right? What about compound? You can just make a guess, right? Then a compound statement consists of two or more statements, yeah, and each of which can separately be considered as true or false. So you can see here, Tina is tall is a simple statement, because Tina is tall, it can be true. She is tall. It can be false. In fact, she is not tall when we just check it out. Now, Tina is tall and Sarah is tall. We have two statements. Not really. It is two sentences, right? And each of them can carry the values of true or false. Then Tina is tall and Sarah is tall. That is a compound statement. Easy, right? Now let's move on to what we say variables. Now we are going to symbolize a statement, with a variable. It means we are going to assign a letter, and it stands for the whole statement. If Tina is tall, we symbolize as P. Sarah is tall, we symbolize as Q. Then you can see we have just one claim variable for the complete sentence, complete statement. Now the truth values, we have two values I have told you already, that those are true and false. And the truth table is a table with all the values of all the truth values when we just mixed all of the variables together. For IT students, you can just do the coding, and it's very quick. But those who are not IT students, you have to stay focused. IT students also stay focused. Now, the truth table for P, you write P here, and there are two values, right? P, that's true or false. The same thing for Q, we also have true and false. We have two values for one variable. Later, we are going to have more. Okay, now let's focus on the first issue, conjunctions. You understand the word conjunctions in English, right? Conjunctions is a compound statement with a connector. A simple connector we have seen is and. Tina is tall and Sarah is tall. So we just combine two sentences with a connector, and each sentence has two values, true and false. Right? But in fact, in critical thinking, the connector is not limited to just the word and. It can be other connectors as well, because the meaning is a compound statement, two sentences combined with a connector. And we just focus on the possibility. It means we have two sentences and each of them has two values, right? And whether it is the connector and It can be but, yet, while, whereas, although, though, however. The meaning, we don't care too much for the meaning. We just care for the values in critical thinking. And don't be confused with this. Tony had steak and Teresa had chicken. Tony had steak, but Teresa had chicken. Then you see and but. The meaning can be different in Vietnamese. However, when we focus on, we have two statements, right? And each of them has two values. Then yet, while, whereas, however, same thing. Okay, now Tina is tone and Sarah is tone. We are going to symbolize as P and Q. Remember this symbol? Now a conjunction. Let's talk about the value of the conjunction. A conjunction is a compound claim asserting both of the simple claims. Then the conjunction is true, remember, if and only if both of the claims are true. It means only when P is true, Q is true, and P and Q is true. That's the value. So when you write this symbol, and when you pronounce, you say P and Q. Okay, have a look at this. Now we have two variables, right? Then we are going to set up a table, and then each variable will have 4 lines. Then we are going to see all of the possible combinations of P and Q together. So we write P, just make it a rule. We write true, true, false. And Q, we write true, false, true, false. Then we see when P is true, Q can be true, false. When P is false, Q can be true or false again. Then we have all of the combinations. Right? Now let's come back to the feature of conjunctions. Conjunction is true when both of the claims are true. Then true, true, it is true. One of the claims is false, then it's false. True, false, false. False, true, false. False, false, false. Let's imagine, think about your requirements for graduation. For example, in your school, the number of credits required for graduation, that's 137, for example. 137. There is another requirement. You must have the English certificates, IELTS certificates of at least 5.5. There are 2 requirements, and you must fulfill those 2 requirements in order to graduate. Right? Now, if you have all those 2, it means, you achieve even more than 137 credits, and then you have IELTS certificate of 6.0, 5.0, okay, 7 as well. We're happy to announce that you are eligible for graduation. But in case you have achieved 137 credits or even 140 credits, but you haven't submitted your IELTS certificate, or maybe your IELTS certificate is issued from a language center, not from, British Council or ACET, ADP, IDP. But the other way around, you do have the IELTS certificate. But the thing is, let's say, you haven't achieved enough credits, right? In that case, you cannot graduate. Think about this. Okay, now let's have a very quick check with the symbolic form of these statements. Then the symbolic form, the symbols can be the same. The symbolic form can be the same, right? The meaning can be different, but we just talk about the values. Now, Ken hits a home run, a single statement. Then that's P. Hank went fishing and Dirk also went hunting. Then we say P and Q. Hank and Dirk went fishing. What do you think? When you have "and" in the subject, we regard as two statements. It's like Hank went fishing and Dirk went fishing, right? P and Q. Now Hank went fishing, but Dirk went hunting. But P and Q the same thing. The train was late and the bus was on time. What do you think? P and Q. Yeah, the train was late though the bus was on time. Same thing. France is in Europe and China is in Asia. Frank is in Europe, but France and Germany are in Europe. Remember the case of statement number 3? Now Sally ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, whereas P and Q. Easy, right? Now let's move to this. Now let's check the values, true or false. Let's say the variables A, B, C, X, Y, Z. A stands for December is cold, B, June is warm, C, March is windy, X, February is sunny, Y, July is cold, and Z, August is snowy. Let's have a combination, A and B. Now before that, we assume that A and B, A, B, and C are true, X, Y, Z are false. Now A and B, it means true and true. That's true, right? B and Z is like true and false. True and false, false. Z and Y, false and false. Super easy. This is for kids. Yeah, so easy. False. C and B, true. X and Z, false. C and A, true. C and Z, false. X and Y, false. A and C, true. Y and A, false. You have the same answers as I do, right? Okay, now this time, we even don't care what the variables stand for. We just care for the values. And now when we test validity, we just need this. Sometimes we do not care. We even don't know what the variables stand for. We can still check whether to see the logic is. Now P, Q, and R, true. W, Y, W, X, Y, false. P and Q, true. P and W, false. X and Y, false. R and Q, true. R and Y, false. Y and W, false. X and W, false. Q and R, true. P and Y, false. And R and P, true. I'm getting hot. This is easy. I'm waiting for something more challenging, right? Okay. Let's see how it goes with the argument. Okay. Now we go to the argument now. You can see Tina is tall, Sarah is tall, so Tina is tall and Sarah is tall. Logically, this is so simple. I guess, that's valid, right? We have the confirmations in the first two statements, the premises, right? Now, to begin with, we just symbolize the arguments. Yeah, TIEN is torn P, right is torn, that's Q. Then we have the conclusion, P and Q. Right? Then we are going to write like this. We have P, Q here, the two premise, and we have a line. Okay? Yeah, to separate the premises and the conclusion. I say this is just one of the ways to write the symbolic argument. We have other ways as well. Now the table, we have talked about this already. We have two variables, then we write 4 lines. For the first variable, we write true, false, and for the second one, we write true, false. Now, you can see here, what is the theory? The theory says, when all the premises are true, the conclusion must be true. Yeah, just to remind you one thing, to make it easy for you to analyze. Yeah, I suggest you make a table, and the one table, when you have the table with all of the variables and values, you make another table for analysis. And yeah, the finalized table just consists of the columns for the premises and the column for the conclusion. That is easier for you to analyze and see. And we put the the column for the conclusion on the right edge. Now let's come back to the theory. In the valid argument, it is impossible for all the premises to be true and the conclusion false. It means when all the premises are true, the conclusion must be true. Its answer means we just consider the case, the condition, when all the premises are true. Is it right? Yeah, then we have 4 cases here, 4 lines. There is just one single case when all the premises are true. We don't care because one of the premises, is false. Just consider for graduation, is it right? We just consider the case when the student has fulfilled the 2 requirements, IELTS certificate and accumulation of at least 137 credits. When a student has achieved or has fulfilled just one of those requirements, don't put him on the short list for graduation graduation as a consideration for graduation. Same thing here. We just consider the first line. True. When all the premises are true, the conclusion is answer true. That it goes well with the theory, the definition. I would say valid. Easy. It's another chance for you to get easy scores. When you have the pattern P, Q, P, and Q, it's valid. This pattern is valid. Now another one, the sky is blue, the grass is green. So the sky is blue and the grass is green. We also have the values P, Q, P, and Q, right? And it's valid. Then when you see we have the same pattern, we can decide right away, valid. Then in the exam, you may see the pattern like this again. The meaning can be different when you read the lines, but the symbolic form can be similar. Now, another one. The grass is green. So the grass is green and the sky is blue. What do you think? We have just one premise and we have a conclusion. It looks like the conclusion is more complicated with more details than the premise. We have P, only one premise, P and Q. Right? Yeah, because we assume, the sky is blue, that's Q. 2 variables, we also have 4 lines. But this time, according to theory, when all the premises are true, the conclusion must be true. We have just one premise, then we have to consider all the cases when this premise is true. Then we are going to focus on the first 2 lines the first two rows, right? The premise P, true and true. One case is true and Q is untrue. And the other case is true, but the other one is false. 50% is correct. 50% is not correct. There is still the case when the premise is true, but the conclusion is false. Yeah, we don't care for Q here, we care for P and Q. Yeah, true, true, and true, false. Yeah. Now, in a few arguments, it depends on you. In a few books, you can just have a star here, indicating this is a premise, and the super C, it means conclusion. To me, I often have a new table to make it easy to see just P, P, and Q. And then you can see we have the case number 2. The premise is true and the conclusion is false. Then I could say, you get the idea. Yeah, that is like, when you do the thesis. Yeah, you have this kind of finding, and then you conclude, with this finding and also something else. Right? Not logical. It can be false. What about this one? Franklin is short and stout. So Franklin is short. Then we say, Franklin is short, Franklin is stout, P and Q, and the conclusion is P. The table is the same, and we have another table. What do you think? Valid? Just one case when the premise is true and the conclusion is also true, we say valid. Then it's like, when you do the thesis, you have the questionnaire, and you have 10 questions, right? You find out 10 important details, right? And you conclude. You just use, let's say, a part of the detail to conclude. Logical, right? Yeah. We don't need, because some people, they do the survey and they use the survey in order to write 2 articles, to publish 2 articles. Right? Maybe the first 5 questions are enough to come to the conclusion of the first argument. And this, pattern is valid. Yeah, we do have, many exercises here. I just go very quickly, and you can just do at home. You can just pause the video now for a little bit, for a little while, and you check validity. Now, when you're ready, let's go to the answer very quickly. And you can see P, Q, P, and Q. In this case, we have the 3 dots, look like a triangle. That's also a symbol for a conclusion. Yeah, P, Q, P, and Q. Very easy. Valid. Now, the second one, P and Q. And Q, we have another table, P and Q and Q. True and true. Valid. Number 3, we have R and S. Remember, it's like we have just a single detail, and then we conclusion, and we add something more. True, 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 false. 50% valid, 50% invalid. And in general, invalid. It means there is still the case when the premise is true, but the conclusion is not true. Invalid. RS. You find out this, and you conclude another. We do have this in the thesis. Maybe you are lucky, it can be okay. But there is always a chance that you are not lucky. Invalid. You can see it's closely related to your thesis in the future. R and S and R, easy, valid. Okay, now let's move on. So you can see here now we have in the exam, you may have, the arguments like this. Just put them in the symbolic forms and analyze and see the conclusion. Now, the train was on time. The bus was late. So the train was on time and the bus was late. Yeah, because symbolize the train was on time, P, the bus was late, Q. Then we have symbolic form, P and Q, P, Q, P and Q. Very simple, right? Valid. Number 2, the train was on time. So the train was on time and the bus was late, but the bus was late. Same thing. So it should be P and the conclusion P and Q. What do you think? Invalid. Number 3, the train was on time, so the bus was late. Premise like this, conclusion another way, right? There can still be the chance that you are lucky. Okay, true. But everybody sees that it's illogical, right? Invalid. Easy, right? Yeah, so next time, we are going to focus on the second case, that is negations. I need you to review and do all of the exercises in the material to get ready, for the next video. Thank you very much, everybody. Goodbye.